Here we are once again on the Twitch, not the TV / that Xisuma, doing the live stream from the Hermitcraft. Thank you for the bananas in chat, Spooky Dokie, Becca, and 4Gil lets me know that we're live because bananas are the only way to know if you're live on Twitch. You know, where would we be in this world without bananas? Ooh, I have not gotten a lot of tools since I last stuck my head down here. I think we'll just chuck a bunch of this stuff into here. We're doing some simple stuff today, peeps. Redstone and sticks is all that I need. And we've got the music playing, listening to Lena Rain again with the soundtrack to Celeste. 4Gil says, what is the plan for now? We're going to sort these items out. Then we're going to go work on the, terraforming around the base. Ha, there it is. Haley Bailey, welcome to the stream. Jack Q121. Oh, I missed because I was looking at chat. Jay Cook. Hello, Nixie. Vex Lol. Holds Slippers. God, I'm great at reading. Ah! Stop reading names! Okay, that was a gamble. Winnie T. Ford, welcome, my friend. Jarvik. Queef Keen. Queen. Keef. Queef. Oh, God, I'm butchering the names. Never Phantoms. Never again, I said. Is Hermit's helping Hermit's tonight, says Silver Bullet? It is, but I don't know if I'm going to be a part of it. I just wanted to kind of stream now rather than wait around for a couple of hours. So, you know, it'll overlap a little bit. I'll see what... Oh, that was close. I'll see what's happening. Woo. Kayla99, thank you for your 12 months of support. A whole year right there. And thank you for the lovely message. We've got JSong95 here for 2 months. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Are the boats cleaned up, says Daniel. I would not know. I would not know if they're all cleaned up. All I know is I went to Doc's base and I placed a few down because there were a bunch on the ground and it probably really annoyed Doc. Ikazu, good luck with your revision. Thanks for popping by. The HHH command says BST, it's now GMT UCT. Yeah, we need to get rid of time zones, basically. Help the hermits by placing more boats. I don't think that's going to help anyone. Hey guys, is this just starting, says Midnight Wolf. Yes it is. Although, you missed the prank on Mumbo Jumbo. You missed the prank, sorry. Chick Tech, thank you for 5 months of support. What's the plan for the stream? Well, we knocked the first part of the plan out of the water by pranking Mumbo. The second part is to go tidy up these items and then work on the area around the back of the base. If you watch the end of the last episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. Maria Blackcat says, prank was great, you should have seen it. Yeah, it was pretty awesome, wasn't it? A damn good prank, says Hytron. Oh, I'm glad you thought so. Riggs Diggs says today's Mumbo prank was better than the last one. Yeah, it was. The last one was hard to top, but we found a way to do it, right? Evil X in Last Life. Jeez, I mean, imagine that, eh? That'd be a terror. Gonna go. Oh, I love this place, by the way. Now that it's more tidied up, it's so nice. It's just been so janky for so long. Gonna need to jump up and do that to get those now. I think. Actually, is there a possibility? Yeah, there's a possibility they might have got on. Oh, what have I done? What have I done now? Ah, so they wouldn't have gone into that one. Right, so any that were like this are a liability. Uh-huh. Using my brain smarts, I am. There we go. Cool. So we've got to put in all the ones with the sticks. For our octoboxes. I must say, like, they're called octoboxes. It just makes me want to rename them. Because all of my others just say shulkerbox. Okay. And one more. One more. So, now we have like a fully stocked furnace over here. Although that being said, we do have more sticks. That's got sticks. So if I just grab these, we can do a little bit more filling up. Naomi is here for 8 months. Thank you so much. Podanu 0 here for 20. Becca 11 gifting a sub to Brainboy 9. Thank you for gifting that sub. Brainboy, be sure to say thanks in chat. Why do you smelt with sticks, says Hytrin? Basically because it's like a side product, I guess you could say. Like, you know, we got them in abundance, so why not? JSong95. Thank you for gifting a sub to DJ Awesome 110. Be sure to say thanks in chat. DJ Awesome, we always appreciate the gifted subs. And we got Panda Hero 3 here with the Prime. We got Vertex 6172 here with a Prime subscription. And we got Joe Dragon here for 19 months. I don't know why I don't know what I'm doing. I'm being dramatic. In a soft and subtle way. Okay, let's stop that. Apparently I'm in a strange mood. Hello, Xisuma and everyone. Finally, today I finally got my bad tooth removed. Yay for me. If I can't feel half my face right now, hoping this means some things will start going well for me. Keep up the amazing videos, my dude. They help me so much lately. Glad to hear it, and thank you for the 19 months. And pro tip, okay? Don't have soup right now. Don't do it. If you're thinking I want soup, don't. Story about Xisuma the kid. Okay, when I was a kid, we got more sticks. I had to get some teeth removed, right? And what did I have? Still numb from the anesthetic. What did I have to eat when I got home? A bowl of soup. Okay. I don't know who authorised this bowl of soup, but it ended up on my nice white t-shirt. Okay. I was thinking, oh, this soup's nice. Why is my chest feeling warm? What's going on here? Oh, look at that. There's soup just running out of my mouth down my top. Oh, God. They should have warned me, shouldn't they? The dentist should have warned. It's the dentist's fault. He should have said, listen here, son. Okay? Don't go drinking soup or eating it. Or do you drink or eat soup? God. Oh, man. Straight into the deep questions today, hey? Dear Lord. We're going to have an endless discussion on this now. You know, is a hot dog a sandwich? What? God. Not again. Surely not again. Looks like we've got some leftovers here, or maybe not. Oh no, we actually have like a full fit. Whoops. Right, and so this one here, just gonna go put these over in this space. We got Rainbow Skull 738 here subscribing, Wobsonator here for 49 months, and Asf is here for 30. Thank you so much for your tremendous support, peeps. It's appreciated. Winnie T Ford in chat says, best not to eat at all until the feeling is back. You can chew up the inside of your cheeks by mistake. That is a very good point. Maybe it was a blessing that I had tomato soup instead of a steak. I had tomato soup instead of a steak. It's like my brain swapped the steak and the soup beginning bits. But what's amazing about that is I said stoop as I realised that I was getting it the wrong way around, and then said steak. And it's like, brain, please. Okay, I know saying words is difficult for you, but that's just taking the mick at that point. The dentist should have told you it could be dangerous. Mex, it was like over 20 years ago. I do not know what I was told. I have no recollection of it, really. I'm sure the doctor told me not to. Doctor? Oh, he's a doctor now. I thought he was a dentist. That's the problem. I went to the doctor to get my teeth out. Rodell poses, thank you for your Prime subscription. Amber doesn't play games, thank you for the Prime. We got Ms. Rowe, we got a raid! That's why the chat is going a little bit crazy right now. Becca, thank you for giving a sub to Rich Lerner. Rich Lerner, be sure to say thanks in the chat, we appreciate the gifted subs. And welcome to all of the raiders. Ms. Rowe, a fellow Minecrafter, I assume. Please enlighten me. Inform me. Educate me. I need to be educated. Celeste Music, says Kappa. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's really nice to, like, find some music to listen to from, like, just a totally different avenue of, like, some random game soundtrack. I've done that before, actually. Someone recommended these, like, 90s RTS games, Star Siege, where they've got, like, an industrial metal soundtrack similar to Frank Lepakian. What's it called? Red Alert. So that's that was a cool little discovery. So what's the plan for tonight? Who needs help, says Gunday Man. I'm the one who needs help today. I'm just working on my own base. If other hermits care to help me, they can. I won't be around for long though. So I don't know what'll happen later. Becca, thank you for gifting a sub to Mr. Nurse Ratchet. Appreciate you doing that. And again, be sure to say thanks. Oh, Ms. Rowe is Music Man's sister. Wow. That's cool. Well, thank you again for the raid. I'm a big fan of the Music Man and the music that he makes. X, what is the theme of your base? The theme of my base? It was more an intention to build and go, right? Let's, I'll tell you what, we need a few more rockets. It's story time with X. And I am Kaneka. Thank you for gifting a sub to Ms. Rowe. Ms. Rowe, thank you again for that donate a raid. Ugh. My brain gets all the words kerfuffled. Okay, why did I wander into here again? Ye old question of life. I need some sugarcane. I'm actually like running really low on sugarcane, I think. And I'm sure I had a little stash of it the other day. Huh. Oh, there it is. Okay, we need paper. And we need gunpowder. And then we put some of that gunpowder back. Cool, let's... Right, so now I would have almost totally forgotten what I was doing, but I did remember. So the idea was to build as we go. Like, I started off on this little island, and I wanted to, like, turn this into a complete project as I moved on to the next thing. It always kind of lags a little bit, though. It always lags. So then we build the entrance, and then we build the village behind it. I have my storage area off here in the distance for, like, a build later in the season. We have the Evil Empire over here nearby, so that it's all sort of becomes part of the same area. By the way, I have no plans for this. No plans. Maybe I'll find a way to cover it up, but it's all a bit too big and bulky for my liking. So yeah, it was about build as you go, really, and now we're finishing up this build. The interiors are pretty much done. The project inside of it. Oh, which, by the way, I could activate and have running while we're in the area. And now we're working on the path that goes through this over to the other side. Rob says you didn't get boated then. I did not get boated. You know, I don't think they would want to mess with Evil X and the Evil Empire. You know, it's a pretty nefarious place. You know, you throw down a bunch of boats and there's lava everywhere to destroy it. Arwen 3263, thank you for 7 months of support, my dude. Appreciate it. So who's in a talky mood today? Because I wanted to talk a little bit on a particular subject that's kind of like being discussed a lot right now. In the world of music, let's say. If anyone's been following what's been happening in the world of music. Rigstig says, let's hear it. I want to see if any... Oh, well, there you go. Jordan's got it. Jordan knows. The concert, question mark. Interesting to see how people are referring to it. That Travis Scott concert incident was awful. There you go. Benix. Yeah. I mean, like, I get a lot of my information from Reddit, right? So I'm learning about it through the lens of Reddit. And although I browse Reddit, I am particularly irritated often by the approach to talking about topics and things that happen, which tends to be like very sort of kind of like just going to an extreme. Maybe an extreme that sometimes is completely relevant, but certainly sort of things fall in line, right? There's not much room for discussion. There's a lot of condemnation and very emotional condemnation as well, you know. There isn't a lot of leeway over there. I'm not suggesting that there should be leeway with this incident, but I think it's more beneficial to learn more about what's going on, see things from multiple viewpoints, than it is to just sort of fall into that way of thinking. One of the things that seems to develop now is it's gone from critiquing one individual to then praising others who do particular things with the audience, you know. As someone who's gone to concerts, I've seen someone die at a concert. Jeez, that was pretty brutal. I say that out loud and then it sort of comes back to me very vividly. Crowds, crazy things can happen in crowds. And like the psychology of crowds is important to understand, because I have been sucked up into the psychology of crowds. Now, fortunately for me, didn't do myself any harm, didn't do any others any harm, and along the way of being a gig goer, someone who goes to festivals and concerts. Cohen Boss says no further context. It was like a kid who was off their face climbing up the scaffolding or whatever you'd call it, like the stuff that holds up a tent, and the whole crowd jeering this person to drop down as if they were going to catch him. And me and my mates were standing there and we were like, no one's going to catch him, that's too far, everyone's going to move out the way. And like the people running the venue did not know how to deal with the situation. They turned off, like, I mean, I don't even know how you deal with the situation, but like it did not help, because they turned off the music and turned on the lights, and then the entire tensed attention was on this kid, and everyone was jeering him on, except me and my mates. Well, there were probably other people in the crowd who weren't as well, and we were just standing there like, this is not going to end well. And then what happens? The kid falls down, everyone moves out the way, and yeah, later on we found out that like the kid had died, and it was pretty brutal, like pretty terrible to like see that happen. Why do I have like one extra iron block? It makes me feel like I've misplaced it somewhere. Some drugs were involved too in the concert, says I love pizza rolls. Yeah, like I said, I say the kid was off his face on something. I have no idea really. You just assume when someone does that they are. And I'd never really learned much more about it other than that the kid died. And it was really quite sad. And me and my friends though, we sort of like knew at the time that was really bad. But for a lot of people there who were like drunk or whatever, just jeering this kid on, they hadn't thought it through. They hadn't like realised no one's actually going to catch this kid and he's going to fall to his death. This happened like 15 years ago or something. So, I don't think it was a big story or anything like that. It was just something that happened. See, that's another thing. Like, not all stories make the news equally. So, like, what's happening to Travis Scott right now is interesting because it reminds me of the George Floyd thing in a way where, like, things like that can happen consistently over time, but every now and then something, for whatever reason, sparks and then it becomes the conversation. And crowd safety and control has probably had its issues over time, and then every now an event comes along that thrusts it into the spotlight. Like I remember Woodstock 99 being a very big one that drew a lot of attention. Now my experience going to gigs, we started going to them kind of at the ends of the sort of more free-for-all atmosphere. Like when I first was going to gigs, big festivals and whatnot, I think they had only just started introducing the extra sets of barriers that you get at the front. I think they had just introduced the divide down the middle, because they realised that you can protect people a lot by having a divide down the middle, whereas they used to have just, you know, crowds just filling up all of that space. By the way, we got a noise in the ear. Becca11 gifting a sub to Curls of Doom for 5 months. Thank you so much, Curls. Be sure to say thanks in chat. We always appreciate the gifted subs. We got Mr. Bumblebee-Bot here for 2 months as well. Thank you so much. Venax says, it reminds me of the Hillsborough disaster. I wasn't alive for it. Where did that one go? That total... Oh, there it is. Wasn't alive for it, but I hear stories about it to this day. Yeah, it was very, very, very tragic, that one. And I believe that the narrative tends to be that, like, the police were incredibly negligent of, like, what was happening and had a bit of a, oh, it's just a bunch of football thugs sort of attitude, and they didn't help. They just kept pushing more people into the ground, and, you know, it's like a total disaster. Events like that, though, they lead to reform. They lead to changes. That and a few other events in football led to the standing in stadiums and, like, ticket limits and, you know, rules and regulations to keep people safer. So this all happened probably again because this Travis Scott thing is such a massive incident. But what frustrates me is just seeing a sort of hateful pile on the artist himself. I'm not saying he isn't deserving of criticism or anything like that. It's just, it seems rather unhelpful in the light of being able to, like, educate people. You don't need to have a conversation around a topic that's like pure anger and condemnation when what's abhorrent, that people died at a concert, is like obvious to begin with. I think that there's like an opportunity to get people thinking about how crowd psychology works and how the psychology of an individual on the stage works, because I've been to concerts and I've seen people on the stage tell you to beat up someone in the crowd. I've seen that happen, and fortunately I saw that stuff happening when I was a bit wiser to it, because when I was younger and I was more impressionable, I might have been like, yeah, my favourite artist is saying that someone in the crowd's an arsehole and I'm gonna, you know, go and punch them or whatever, although I've never been like a violent person. I don't think I've ever struck out at anyone. Maybe once or twice, but like the point is to like step back and look at it from a different angle, because if you understand how a crowd treats a person on stage, it's like a feedback loop. There's like responsibility on both sides. When he goes on stage, he can tell the crowd what to do and they'll do it, and that can give you like a lot of ego god complex type stuff, right? And so the attitude that he appears to have on stage, in my mind, is like an immature one where he hasn't like seen the dangers of having a crowd and what could possibly happen. Because some of these artists that people are praising for doing right have sort of done wrong in the past and had to learn to realize, hang on a minute, when we're up here on stage, like, we have real power over what people do and we need to be responsible with that. I saw a few people being listed in videos of things they'd done shared at their shows, you know, being praised, and you can also find videos of them, like, you know, attacking someone in the crowd and telling them to attack, because, you know, not everyone's perfect, and a lot of us were immature before figuring out what's right, you know. Life is like a lesson to be learned, and yeah. Oh, and Anarchy says, I've been in the punk scene for many years, and the way the modern hip-hop rap industry has a mob mentality to violence is really disgusting. That shows that introduced mosh pits did a level of respect. You expect to get hurt, but not maliciously, and does that happen, then you are helped out by crowds. I would not put that on the hip-hop rap industry, because I don't see the point in putting blame on something that people are attached to emotionally and love. Like, it should be about, again, learning these things not through the lens of like, it's your problem, hip-hop and rap, because I have been to a lot of metal shows, and let me tell you, depending on who you go see at what time, those shows can be really violent and quite malicious. I've been to punk shows where I've seen some absolutely outrageous stuff take place on the stage, you know, and I've been to punk and metal shows where it's completely the opposite. I've been to, you know, like watching Slipknot live, you know, Corey loves to remind you that we're all a family, that we're, you know, the big Slipknot family, and when you're out there moshing, you look out for other people, and if someone falls down, you pick them back up. I've always loved that attitude. I think, yeah, moshing can be dangerous, but, like, you know, thing with mosh pits is someone's going to get caught out and be in one when they don't want to, but you can get away from them, and so there's like a level of consent where people who participate in moshing are doing that together. And yeah, I've been to shows where so here's like a really big contrast, right? Like, you know, you go to a Slipknot show and like he's telling everyone we've got to pick each other up, we've got to look out for one another. If someone hits the ground, you help them up. If there's a crush, we stop the show. And this is something that artists probably have to learn. I don't know what early Slipknot shows were like, but I would not be surprised if that mentality was not there from the beginning. It's something that you have to learn. The Smashing Pumpkins used to have mosh pits at their show, and then a couple of fans died in a mosh pit, and then they just stopped them. I think it's the Smashing Pumpkins, and they said, no more mosh pits, like, that's it. And, you know, that's their decision, it's their show. Some may continue to have mosh pits after that. I've also been to a show where the singer, like, was encouraging moshing, and here's, like, this wasn't moshing, this was, like, hardcore dancing moshing. And he was literally saying, hurt people. This guy was shouting, and, you know, like, to all the moshers, go and hurt people. And, like, he literally said, if you see someone who's not moshing, hurt them, right? And so then all the hardcore dancers start swinging their arms and legs into people, right? Very funny. One of them came straight towards me without me realising and headbutted me and fell on the floor. And, like, it happened so quick that I didn't really, like, register what was going on. And it was like, well, you got what you deserved. Like they just sort of came out of nowhere and charged into me and then just hit the floor, and I was like, oh god. It was so weird. Ant says strong Xisuma. I'm not trying to say like I'm a hardhead or anything. It was literally just probably blind luck that they like swung around out of nowhere as I was watching the show on the stage, thinking I'm well away from the mosh pit, and then like bang, they whacked themselves into me and then they're on the ground. Like, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. The few shows I've been to, they've only been lovely mosh pits with female-only zone and mixed and male-only zones. I feel like I don't listen to the music that has moshing involved either, says Fanapi. I've never seen, like, gender-exclusive mosh pits, but, you know, I've been to, like, loads of great mosh pits, friendly ones. I remember, like, being, I think it was Judas Priest. At the end of this Judas Priest mosh pit, someone came up to me and went, "You're the most enthusiastic," and like started like grabbing my arms and putting them up in the air like a, you know, like you hold someone up when they win or whatever. Like, and then I've been to some awful ones, like Job for a Cowboy at Download. I went into that mosh pit and I went, oh god, oh god, oh god, I've been like punched in the side 7 times in the matter of a few, like half a minute. I'm out. So, gender exclusive mosh pit sounds like a great band name. It does actually. I love ridiculous band names. Lolf's Meat says some of the Wacken mosh pits I've seen on DVDs get pretty brutal. Yeah. I mean, you see like at Wacken they don't have the crowd divide down the middle. I don't know how they get away with that. You see like the big walls of death. I've stood in the middle of the wall of death. There's a video on YouTube with me in it. I'm obviously not going to tell you. But every now and then I go and watch it and I'm like, oh X, you were an idiot back then. You could have got so hurt. I remember it like I was like, oh yeah man, I'm gonna stand in the middle of the wall of death, right? And then everyone charges, and what I remember is just this split second of like, thwomp, now I'm on the floor, and like there's like 3 people under me, and I'm desperately trying to like push up because they look like they're in a lot of pain. Just this like weird moment where you're making eye contact with someone you're also crushing. And you're like trying to immediately rectify the situation. Social distance mosh pit, yeah. Everyone was an idiot once, says Robotic Sage. Yeah, that's basically it, right? And it's the same for the artists as well. Like, I think
Travis Scott now has a tremendous opportunity to grow. My worry always is when you have this like hatred and vitriol directed at someone, it's also then an opportunity for them to kind of like digging their heels. Like, no one really likes to be critiqued massively, right? And I just kind of get concerned that by having such a like a raw, angry response to this, that the artists might not learn, they might dig their heels in. And yeah, I don't know too many of the specifics, but I did look into it a bit, and it does look like his attitude on stage really needs addressing. And he needs to learn that what you do on stage can lead to deaths when there's a a massive crowd of people that will respond to your words out there. What also needs to be learned is, like, when you're in a crowd, you got to remember, when you watch these videos of him doing like horrible things and saying stuff like homophobic slurs or whatever, like, the crowd will like cheer along with, and I think probably a lot of people in that crowd wouldn't identify as being homophobic or whatever, but like in the moment when you're watching your favourite music artist, like, people just get wrapped up in it and go along with it. It's why sometimes people get roughed up because the artist said so. Like, like, people lose their rationality all of a sudden because their favourite artist told them to do something. So, like, I'm not making an excuse for what he's done. I'm saying it goes both ways, and it's an opportunity to learn on both sides. Like I said earlier, when I first went to concerts and gigs and whatnot, I was probably far more likely to do something stupid. If I thought really hard about some old shows I've been to, there are probably times where I went a bit too hard or did something stupid. But, like, I pretty quickly learned, alright, we've got to look out for each other here because people can get injured and whatnot. And I remember being at an Enter Shikari show, and I'd spent the whole night with my mate thinking about moshing, because I don't really do moshing anymore, right? My health and fitness stuff means so much to me, I don't want to get injured. And this was kind of like when I was realising maybe my moshing days are over now, or whatever. Because I used to be like a little mosh pit animal. Because I'd just go to a festival and spend the whole day moshing. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to go, like, there's a couple songs left, I'm going to go to the mosh pit and I'll meet up with you after. So I go over to the mosh pit, I'm about to get in, and then all of a sudden there's a kid with his foot dangling off his leg. It's just broken his ankle, and I'm like, oh jeez, and like, just help them get out of there, basically. Oh man, and Shikari shows are wild. That's the one I got a dislocated shoulder and a crowd surfed out to the medical tent. They were fun while they lasted, says Art and Anarchy. Yeah, you've immediately reminded when I saw them at Download 06, like, they used to do stuff like make pyramids out of people in the mosh pit, and then people would like mosh into the pyramid, and they would do some really wild stuff. And I remember seeing people getting like carried out of those shows as well from like heat exhaustion and stuff. Yeah, they were like really wild back in the day. But anyway, the result of all this, I guess, will be, hopefully that now there'll be like stricter crowd control measures as well. Like, unfortunately, these are lessons that tend to get learned over and over again, but then the sort of basic level of organisation at these things can rise over time. What's the mosh pits as slows now? It's like, if you go to a concert to watch a particular type of music, there will be people that want to be rowdy and push into one another and jump about, and that can scale up to mosh pits where people throw fists and hardcore dance. Some can be quite friendly and like light-hearted moshing, but it's a bit more like jumping and bumping shoulders, and yeah, there's like a whole different degree of types of mosh pit, I guess you could say. These days, I'd say my favourites would be the types where, you jump up and down, you have a bit of fun, and you let out some steam and no one gets hurt. When I was younger, I used to just go wild, just like running around like crazy, and circle pits and walls of death and all sorts of stuff. They do stuff like rowing boats now, like Viking rowing boats I've seen at festivals, which is way more spirited. Guys, you know actual mosh pits are not that aggressive. No one is throwing punches, says Mr. Average Gamer. I don't think that's fair advice to say. You should be very wary that it can happen. Okay, because there are people that go to mosh pits and try and get away with hurting people as well. I'm not trying to, like, fearmonger here. You should just be wary of what can happen in crowds. I have been sucker punched a fair few times in crowds. I saw my mate get strangled by a Nazi once in a mosh pit. Like, things can happen. It depends on what sort of show you go to. You need the context, really, and it's something that everyone should be aware of. You know, might look like it's a load of fun going on over there, but like, who are you watching? If you're watching Linkin Park, you're probably going to have the time of your life. If you're watching Slipknot, it's going to be great. There might be one or two people who get a bit wild. If you're watching like some deathcore, death metal, it's not a set in stone rule, but some of those concerts get pretty wild, you know. Right, so I'm trying to pay attention to the build palette around here. I like that. I like a mix of fences and a cha-cha. Are they after me? I kind of want to. Is anyone else online? It'd be nice if someone could sleep. You just need to be wary that like things can get a bit crazy. So if you are like going to a festival, a mosh pit for the first time, and they've instigated a wall of death, don't go in it. Just watch it from afar, right? And make up your mind later, because those can be dangerous. Like, yeah. Right, I think I'm gonna go with like the achacha. I really like that part of all this. It's really like, this is really like a lot of materials coming in. I'm just sort of looking. I like these. These are like pipes. I'm kind of looking and trying to glean some parts of the aesthetic here we might be able to best make use of. But it's so sort of organic and different type of structure, really. We got DC Heidel here with the Prime subscription, and Vuk Harar here for 4 months, saying, I've seen many kinds of moshing since I've been to both ska concerts and Death Grips concerts, and they are for sure very different vibes. Some of my favourite mosh pits I've been in are Death Grips, and most of the time I've been in them, they have also been absolute crushes where everyone is trying to mosh, and it's like just being part of a wave. That's another thing I've experienced, like you can like be in a crush and then all of a sudden everyone starts moving and falling over in a direction. That's why you have the split down the middle to kind of stop that stuff from happening. Also remember, if you're not enjoying it and you're near a barrier, climb over. Like, don't be afraid to get out. If you tell people you want to get out, they'll help you out. You know, if you're suffering from like what would you call it, dehydration? You know, it can get really hot, and if you haven't brought a water bottle with you, don't be afraid to like ask someone or get out. Cheers Charlie says, a hippie indie music listener with a punk partner going to my first punk show was both shocking and hilariously cute. It was the Addicts, so it was a lot of fun. The chanting is adorable. I'm not particularly accustomed with them or that type of music, so I don't know specifically. Like the shouting, I guess sometimes like bands or fans shout along with the music, right? So yeah, we're gonna mix like these three together and maybe some of that, I think. Although it's probably better just sticking with those three. This gets a little dark. Or we could skip on that and just use like a fade here. We're also going to need some scaffolding. It's going to be like an interesting structure to figure out here. And I think I've got more scaffolding in that one if I need it. Put some iron away as well. Hyperventilating is a better word, I think. No, I was thinking specifically of dehydration. I like going to metal concerts, but from time to time I'm just there for the music, so I tend to stay at the back where I can have a bit more peace and quiet, so to speak. Well, not really, of course, but you know, Mad Hump says, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. For me, it used to be, I was always at the front. The mosh pit closest to the front, I'd be there. I've seen Metallica, like, standing one person away from, like, almost being able to reach out and touch James Hetfield. I remember that so vividly, and that was when he was playing Blackened as well. And then, you know, over the years I find myself getting a little further back. That's what happens. I'm at the back with the oldies now. Yeah, we're probably gonna end up doing like a lot of back and forth, so I should really just move my ender chest over there, which I have on me. I also just need to give a little bit of thought to... We're going to try and build this out of wood, so I might end up needing a bit more of that spruce wood. Anyway, that was... have you been to a G.G. Allen gig? I'm not that old, but oh my goodness me, I would not go. I would not go. When I was younger, I probably went, yeah, I'll go see G.G. And then, like, now I'm like, that man is insane. Yeah, we got Stupid Dumb Thick. What a crazy username here with the Prime. Appreciate it. Anyway, to summarise our little waffle on the old music thing, I want you all to be informed, you know, to like learn about these things. Is there 2 different songs playing, says Spatch? Not at the moment, there isn't. So we're going to build this thing out of the acacia wood. I was just thinking maybe we'd benefit from looking at how we did it last time, because we pulled this one off really well. You kind of need to establish... Yeah, I think we'll do something like acacia like this, and then this stuff can be wood, like a different colour wood, like oak. So we want to establish a kind of shape. We'll probably have fences across there that wraps around this and goes down the side and underneath. Okay, I think I can work with that. Have you ever been to Wacken Open Air? I have not, sadly. It was sort of like on my to-do list when I was younger. Like, I always wanted to go with my mates, but then less enthusiastic about it over time. The other thing is, like, I've seen so many metal bands now, and a lot of new metal bands don't really excite me so much. I feel like metal's a really, like, stagnant genre at this point in time. There's not a lot of, like, you know, you listen to something and go, oh my god, I haven't heard that before. You know, like, bands seem very off their way. I'm just thinking it'd be useful to make some markers here. Like, I feel like this bridge probably really starts about here. Whoops. So we just put in every other block to begin with. Try and suss out where the middle is. You keep saying when I was younger. How old are you? I hope that's not a bang question. I'm in my 30s. I mean, most people can probably figure out how old I am. Have you been to All Points East? It was mad last time. Bring Me the Horizon Scarlord. Yeah, I was there, man. Scarlord was one of my favourites that I saw. I absolutely loved the amount of energy him and his DJ had. Or, like, whatever his role is. Okay, so the middle is here. Yeah, Scarlord was quite exciting. I think I saw Snoop at that festival once. And I remember, like, after, like, coming home... Oh, sorry, on the way out, there were so many people walking and kicking up dust. It was like, it was getting all inside my system, and I think I used like a handkerchief to cover my mouth or something. Like, leaving that thing was like, the next day I was like coughing up all this dirt and like snot with like black bits in it. That may sound gross, but if you've been to some festivals for multiple days, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, it's gross. Alright, we got Master Procrastinator here with the Prime, Jay Shaps with the Prime, Son of Staris here for 12 months, Amia Macy? I'm probably butchering your name. Thank you for gifting a sub to McLeslie13. Appreciate you doing that. McLeslie, be sure to say thanks in chat. You seen the Snoop line? I don't think it was called Snoop line at the time. Camping, that happens to my nose, says Christina LC. Yeah, specifically going to festivals where you camp, you also get a lot of that. You come back and then you're just covered in filth. I mean, when you spend like, when you spend a weekend at Donington running around in circle bits and whatnot, you come back and it's just like you're covered in filth. Yeah, I'm a little unsure of how to get started here, but you know how it works. You usually just have to place a few blocks to get going. I agree with you. I was having fun with a lot of fireworks, and breathing becomes a little difficult. Yeah, you can get it from fireworks as well, I guess. Right, let's set up our ender chest and crafting bench over here, because I immediately need to craft something. Of course I do. And I don't have... Oh, I do have some sticks. That's good. So I think what we established a minute ago is that we want lots of these. And we know where we want to put them. So like if I'm going to start placing blocks, why don't we put a few of these in first? Maybe we'll make it free. I think 3 might be the number to work with here. Kind of feels like it's not the center now, right? Because it's free to that bit there. I think I'm going to shift it over by 1. That'll probably help. This stuff is slow, peeps. Don't expect to see this thing pop out of thin air. Also, I kind of want those back, so I'll have to get all these back. This is the old survival versus creative difference right here. It's always grindier this way. Okay, and we got the 3 there in place. And we need to eat again. Actual Foxes! Thank you for subscribing with the Prime, my dude. Appreciate it. It's not a time lapse, lol, says 12 Rage. Yeah, I mean, like, I've become a bit frustrated with doing time lapses because you really need to, like, make sure you're constantly chipping away at the time lapse. And if you want to do anything remotely freeform, it's just going to end up looking bad. So I kind of steered off doing those. I did a lot earlier on in the season. Kind of wish Minecraft had a hook shot, actually, says TMWG. I don't know quite what you mean by a hook shot. I like slow progress. It contextualizes how wild the builds on Hermitcraft actually are. Yeah, I guess it does. Just, I don't want to be attacked right now. Just burn to death, please. Go place more of these. We're going to need a lot more of them, actually. Yeah, too many time lapses this season anyway, says Slacker Cube. For real? You can never have too many. I don't know, like the pace of a video. The thing I often think about time lapsing is like, after a while, you kind of like run out of angles and ways to present stuff. And I just feel like a lot of my time lapses are sort of like, here we go. You know, like that way of looking at things. And I haven't had too much in the way of like a spark for something totally different. You know, I've got to say, like, in terms of doing like inspiring, creative oriented stuff all the time, I don't feel like I've had like a big new idea for such a long time. Kind of hard to explain like the absence of something that isn't there, but I don't know, it's like you're on the treadmill, right? You don't get to stop and pause. And what was weird is when I got to stop and pause because I was 6. 6? God, come on, brain. Because I was sick. Like, all I kind of like learned was, oh man, like, I need some downtime. And I got that. I was just 17 again, sitting on my arse all day playing GTA. Like playing San Andreas or whatever it was at the time. It was just really weird. And like getting back into this again, I haven't had any big jolts of inspiration. I think Derpcoin was a good idea, says Quemtrails. Thank you. I personally think it was like just a brilliant, the whole thing. Evil X, the animations, Derpcoin, I'll stand by it. It's exactly what I wanted to be. I think that the problem with Derpcoin is just hasn't really like taken on, even though I feel like it's a two-pronged thing. It's like this. It's like this. It's a scam. It's taking the mick out of financial stuff and crypto, and it's trying to educate you. But it's also a way to get cheap goods. I'm not actually scamming anyone. If you go into the shop and buy stuff with Derpcoin, it's cheap. Some of the stuff's the cheapest on the server. I'm not trying to rip anyone off. It's a joke. But I want to make sure that the joke isn't that anyone gets ripped off. It's about teaching you what's in the real world, right? And some people get that and some people don't. So for me, I succeeded in presenting the ideas that I wanted to present. But where I failed is, oh, apparently I've got tons of this stuff. I came back for stone, not for that. You see, this is what happens when you stream. Your mind is on two topics and then you just get all kerfuffled. So yeah, where I failed is just that outside of my own audience, it's not seen the same way. They don't get the storyline, they don't get the joke. It's like I didn't think of at all before going into all of this. And to be completely frank, it's totally put me off storytelling, because you don't have like full control over your story when you're in part of such a big community, because it's like only your small part of the community fully gets it, and then from the outside the perception is whatever, including, oh, X is trying to scam people. Like, I don't want to scam no hermits. I don't want to play a computer game to rip people off over, you know, minor things in the world like resources. And it's just a bit dispiriting to be perceived that way. So, and I know it comes from an uninformed part of the audience, but like, it still hurts. And yeah. But you know, some of you get it. X, how you been doing Derpcoin all season and I haven't heard a single blockchain joke from you? I don't know, I guess I didn't really think of any to throw out there. Like, the goal was less jokes and more like parallels to the real world, you know? Microtransactions, multiple currencies, things like that. You should do something poking fun at NFTs. Well, I did, didn't I? No, I didn't. Sorry. Thinking of something else. I did the Save the Striders thing, which was just to poke fun at that. Save the Children coin. Yeah, I mean, I could on the NFTs, but like, I'll think on that a little bit more. There might be a way to do something with that. And my thoughts on NFTs, again, like, I am exposed at various points, you know, through Reddit and whatnot, to like the worst possible interpretation of stuff. Like crypto and NFTs, they have their problems with like power usage. It is a huge concern and whatnot, but like often like the utility of crypto kind of gets a little overlooked in the wake of these scam coins and these kind of like get rich quick ideas, which are honestly like a real big problem for what the image of crypto is. NFTs I'm way less favourable of personally, because I feel like I am definitely not someone who would buy them, and so to me they are, you know, somewhat of like for me, for like the type of person I am, they are an air quote scam to me, I guess. But like, I can see how in certain types of community they are very valuable. If you are really into collecting art and you want to do it digitally, they are, you know, an incredible solution. Unfortunately, they're tied into very very power-consuming systems. And again, I get exposed to the worst possible interpretation of that through places like Reddit, where it's, you know, just that group mentality of people all just hating on together, you know, and everything's the worst possible version of what it could possibly be. You see, I saw a tweet earlier today actually, where someone shared the power usage of NFTs. We've got a raid going on. It's Sir Tachon. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome to all the peeps. We're talking about NFTs over here. Did I hear about XRP's lawsuit this year? Possibly. I forget which one XRP is. But, oh, I've come to the wrong place. Here's the thing. Right, they shared this statistic about how much power is being used for a single NFT transaction, and in it shared another statistic, which was the equivalent of view time in YouTube. And I went, oh, this is interesting. Now, I am not trustworthy of a random tweet with some statistical information. Okay? I want to know where those statistics come from. I'm obviously going to be skeptical if it's something I don't agree with. I'm aware of that bias. If it's something I agree with, I need to be skeptical as well. But like, these are just numbers. And so I looked at the NFT transactions, right? And then I went and plugged it in to my own watch time metrics on YouTube, because I have access to that. And like, the carbon footprint of me making videos, if that statistic was true, is astronomical. And I was just like, is this like, this surely can't be accurate. So I haven't looked into it further. I can't say it isn't. It just it got me thinking. There's a carbon footprint to what I do, but it depends on how you factorize these things, because you know, are you gonna like attach a carbon footprint for every device that's created when someone watches a video? Like, loads of us have got phones, got computers. There's a carbon footprint for creating them, but then once you got them, the carbon footprint is lower. How is that relationship factored into each individual hour of watch time on YouTube? You know, there's a lot of metrics and variables that could be pulled into this, and this is one of those things that a lot of the anti-farming, agricultural, vegan, pro-vegan things do, is they come up with these statistics for like, oh, this is so bad because do you know how much water you know it takes to farm all these animals, right? Well, what they don't tell you is that a large portion of that is just rainwater and things like that. Like, you know, statistics we often think of as being true, but statistics are just part of a picture, and it can be hard to get the full picture. And you know, these things are very difficult to like get your head around. So when information comes from sources that seem to like lean in a direction, it really concerns me. Like, if there's a point, an agenda, sometimes that agenda or point might be completely valid, but it's still a concern to me. Orc Mother says, lies, damn lies and statistics. It's a good quote. Statistics is the art of making numbers lie, says Lockie. Another interesting quote. Again though, like, you know, statistics, because we can throw doubt at statistics, doesn't mean that they're untruthful. It's like, not all statistics are equal, right? You can make bad statistics, you can cherry pick statistics. You need like as much information as possible and a good head to like analyze what does it all mean. Oh, I think I got a bit of an idea forming for how we pull this together, right? Like, ooh, let's get more of the scaffolding just here. Oops. If I just put that there. Oops. And then, what am I thinking here? If this comes down by one more, I think that's what I'm thinking, right? And then we have that there. This one could come down by 2. This might be help us create the arc that we're looking for. So we have something like that. Numbers don't usually lie, it's that people get the wrong numbers at times, says Robotic Stage. Yeah, possibly. I mean, It's like, you know, you can measure things, and then it's like, are you actually measuring the right thing to get the answer you're looking for? Or should you be looking for an answer first? Should you be looking at the numbers and then letting them give you the answer? I don't know. Other people have expressed this stuff far more elegantly than I can. Curls of Doom says statistics can be biased. It's what's happening with COVID disinformation right now. Yeah, I'd be disinformation, sure. Oh, that could get a little hard pressed, that topic, you know. I personally lean towards trusting the institutions. That's just me. I think we desperately need them, and that we're in a difficult and novel situation where a lot of people have been exposed to all sorts of things that they didn't know anything about before this all happened, and there's a lot of politicization and whatnot, and I think it's, for the most part, much better to defer and listen to people in the know inside the institutions, you know. What institutions do you trust, says Tarkela Bourbon on them. Well, you know, I'm going to say most of them, because I'm probably not aware of how many institutions are around me that make things work without you thinking about it. Like, why does the electricity come out of the wall? Why do the lights turn on? Why is there water running? Because there are institutions keeping those things running. You know, there's been a history of the evolution of electrification, and things have gone wrong in the past, so we have legislation and standards brought in, and like these are all things that then just become taken for granted. They're just there, you don't really think about it. And then when a big new and novel situation happens, like the pandemic we've gone through, all of a sudden these things that were always there become the center of attention for people grappling with some of these topics for the first time. And it's just ripe for disinformation and for distrust to spread in a difficult situation. So for me, I tend to trust the institutions more than not, and that doesn't mean blind trust. There have been scandals and erroneous behavior, you know, like I've said it before, we're praising Pfizer and Moderna for these vaccines, yet before this happens, they were being heavily scrutinized for the opioids epidemic. So, like, it's not about blind trust. When these things go wrong, people and institutions need to be held accountable. But I'm not the sort of person to lead the charge on that, and the average person probably isn't. We're not inside, we're not close to them, we don't understand how they work. Like, the world is a big and complex place, and often we're invited to oversimplify our worldview and not really give too much credence to how much we actually don't know about what's going on, right? Okay, it's looking good so far, I think. Just kind of wondering, what blocks do we place next? What textures are we going to throw in the mix? I've been saying it for a while, this pandemic made us forget of the evil of Big Pharma, says Zach L. Well, I haven't forgotten. And some of the things that have happened recently with certain companies getting complete let-offs legally, like no accountability, has been absolutely disgusting. I just worry when that distrust extends into the wrong places, I guess. I'm actually not quite sure what I'm doing here. Maybe we'll put these blocks in next, because I'm pretty sure they're going to fit in just fine over here. You could use Junglewood. I'd say it complements the Chatter really well. Could try that, couldn't we? God, that's what you get for looking at chat and trying to move around. We got some noises in the ear. We got Anna Banana gifting a sub to Pink Cat eating bananas. What a crazy username. Thank you so much, Anna. Appreciate you gifting the sub. Pink Cat, be sure to say thanks. We got IHFR Gamer here with the Prime. Thank you so much for the Prime. We're trying to match the B-dubs palette. I was, but I'm starting to think that maybe just like feeling what works from this like starting point. We definitely just need to probably figure out what colour mixes in with this, because we're not going to make it all out of like one material, right? That would just be utter madness. Utter madness. I remember a conversation where someone said that there were statistically more male than female that committed suicide, when in reality it was 50-50, and it was just that more men succeed. Oh wow, that's pretty dark. I'm vaguely aware of when I've heard of it before that more men commit suicide than women. But yeah, attempting is another thing. So that's like how you hear one statistic, it can paint a picture of like, oh, men are more vulnerable, and then you hear another statistic, it's like, well, oh, actually maybe not. But like, thing with that is we need care for everyone, right? We don't need to make it about who's more vulnerable. Let's just do our absolute best to look out for everyone in that situation. Depends on where and how large the sample size is, says Enigma. It's another thing, you know. The world's a big and diverse place with lots of different cultures, and cultures have their different ways, and you know, governments in different countries collect statistics differently. Those sorts of data sets can be skewed and all sorts. Right, I'm getting a bit of an idea now. I think I might actually move away from the idea of using all the fence posts. So let's go check out jungle. I think we might end up with like jungle, yeah, jungle, oak, and spruce wood. Okay, so we're going to chuck all of that up there for now. Let's check our slabs. We got these. I think I'm out of jungle wood as well. I need to get some more of that, I guess. I try not to use too much of this stuff. But Ren said, like, you know, hey, if you need the wood, come and get it. It's here to help other people build and stuff. So, like, if I have time to go off and chop down trees, I do that. If I'm, like, rushing to get an episode finished or doing a live stream like now, I'll fly over and just buy some wood. By the way, 2,100 peeps tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the stream today. Be sure to hit the follow button if you have. I'm going to be streaming some modded Minecraft tomorrow, probably followed by some Hermitcraft again on Wednesday. But I don't know, that might change. We'll see, we'll see. Do you think the new update will sneak in a new type of wood? Yes, because we already know that the next update will sneak in another type of wood. Have you watched Green's latest episode yet? I watched a bit of it, but I felt like I saw most of it for other people's videos, so I've watched a bit, I guess. Oh, do you know what? I might have had some in my base now that I think about it. Oh well. Because I moved them into shulker boxes over there. Dang, I forgot about that. I have a lovely YouTube video I could link you explaining how statistics do in fact care about or depend on your feelings. Think I could drop the link? Enigma, tweet me it. I think that sounds like the sort of video I'd be very curious to watch. I really like learning about things, especially learning about one's own perceptions and shortcomings and whatnot. Is this music from the game Celeste, says Hazmat? It is. What is the game Celeste about? I think I looked it up the other day. If I can't remember, it's probably me thinking, oh well, that's not my kind of game, and moving on. But having listened to this soundtrack, it's a 2D platformer. There you go, that's why I didn't remember, because that does not interest me. A platformer with a story based on anxiety. That sounds interesting. And I think we need to sleep in the bed again. It's pretty good fun and challenging, says Hayley Bailey. It might be. I played that Shovel Knight, and that really didn't do it for me. Now that one had some rave reviews. I don't know if it was more of a nostalgia thing, but like, I could play Super Mario Bros. 3 and really enjoy playing that. But yeah, beyond that, like, platformers don't really do it for me. I was trying to place the jungle one there. Let's get a nice mix-up going on here. So I think that shape could easily be passed on from like one bit to the next. You know, Hollow Knight has an incredible soundtrack to go with it. Possibly my favourite game soundtrack ever, says Jamie. I had play it muted when I play it, so I'm not really aware of what it's like. You have to get so many little details right in a platformer for it to be enjoyable, says Mugen. Megan, possibly. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It didn't work for me for whatever reason, right? Oh yeah, adding some buttons on this might be a cool idea. And why did I come back again? Oh, I remember. To add that. Grab it even. Why did Puka have to make Xolotl so cute though? Oh, Xolotl's always been cute, but the Puka definitely adds the cuteness. Oh, what happened there? Oh wait. Oh, jeez, it looked like stone. And I was like, hang on, I just took that out. Like, what happened? Because it needs to be stripped. That didn't work. There we go. So in order to get from that side over to this side, I think what we need... actually no, I think we'll go one lower than that. Like that, yeah, that makes sense. I'm trying to like make it so that no two textures ever sort of touch again. I'm not sure if I've managed to successfully do that or not. I definitely haven't now with that choice. Anyway, it doesn't have to be like that. Speaking of the Puka, when will the next animation be? Whoever is behind everything is not the only one getting impatient, says General Mayhem. It won't be in the next episode, the one after, I'm guessing. To be honest, I've been like, where I got knocked off my feet, I've been just struggling to get back into... I say struggling. Oh, they're over there now. It's not so much a struggle, I lost the momentum and kind of finding it hard to get that back, so you know, it is what it is, whatever it is at the moment. I think we need to put one there. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? Let's knock out some of this stuff so we can start to see it a little clearer. That looks alright, don't you think? Definitely needs a few more touches to it, and I've actually got some ideas, so we're going to go grab a particular block. Need to get in here. Grab these, come over here, turn them into those. Then I also need some of them. Oh, some of you really like the look of it. Oh, maybe add some lanterns. That's a great idea. Oh, but my lanterns are over there. Oh, I'm glad you all like the look of it. This is the easiest bit. Doing the tunnels, I think, is going to be harder. Least favourite part of Minecraft is Lurkery. Inventory management. You knew I was going to say that though, didn't you? Surely you knew I was going to say that. So I guess that bit will get left. Dang, this music is awesome. And I think what I might do here is just give it a bit of a break there. So we've got those things below, then up top we're talking about adding some lanterns. Let's have a look. We got lighting options in here. Oh, I do like the idea of putting down a block and maybe having some trapdoors around it, but that might be a bit much for the size of the thing. Happy Ham 514, thank you for gifting a sub to Aunt Mac 2. Appreciate you gifting the sub there, very kind of you. Thank you for supporting our community that way. So sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I think for this one we're going to be okay. Maybe Nembom will have a look now that he's a Mojangster, says Tuxaban. Yeah, I'm very happy for Nembom being a Mojangster. I've got a feeling like you might expect him to come in and do a bunch of crazy stuff, but I imagine there'd be some, you know, like I don't think they're given license to do what they want. Everything's got to be a group decision, and given Mojang's history with the technical Minecraft community, I don't think there's going to be too much in the way of I don't know, maybe adding some of the technical stuff you might think, but I do think he'll bring a lot of intelligent decisions and good solutions to problems. Like, he understands the game in a very particular way, which I think will be useful. I think they might look better with some brick texture, actually. It might be nice to use a bit more of that in here somehow. In fact, I've got another little idea I think could be quite nice. Oh, I didn't want to fall down then. And again, God. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab more of those. I'm going to put that there. Oh yeah, it won't connect. That might be a good thing. What am I missing? I'm not missing anything. I ain't missing anything. Dark trapdoor on the pillars. Dark trapdoor. I don't see that fitting in too well. Let's see how this looks. Some buttons on the side of the beams would break it up. It could do. Let's go down to our little perch spot. That does not... Oh, I think I see why it does not look as good. I've missed a bit. So I was kind of picturing that these here go higher. Why? This is why he needs the bridge. He keeps falling. I'm building the bridge and falling off of the scaffolding. That's not why I need the bridge. I don't have some inherent need to be in that particular space but not fall down. The bridge is for travelling. Add note blocks. I would, but they don't work because I have a resource pack that means they won't work. That looks pretty nice, I think. What do you think, peeps? I can see adding a block or two might change things again. If I come over here, I was thinking of removing that one, but maybe not. But I think adding that will help a lot. And then maybe if we get some achacha wood trapdoors, which I thought I had a lot of. Oh yeah, I did. I used them all. So let's say we go add these. Just in those spots. And then we talked about adding some buttons, maybe? Oh, that's too. Maybe that's not so bad. Why don't you use acacia gates mixed in to give the fence texture? That's a great idea, great idea. Pisslock, thank you for that one. Oh! Okay, there's really not a lot of scaffolding and support on this side, is there? Signs instead of buttons. I tell you what, signs are great with the resource pack that I've got. How do you deal with stream lag? Like you said, you have to wait a bit for everyone to hear and respond. I feel like I would get frustrated after a while, says Shinny. What you need is for people to just not use it and that and speak as if I'm on the same moment that they're typing that message, because I talk about a lot of stuff and it moves on. So talking with a language of specifics would certainly help me. Let's try this idea with the. Oh, look at that! We haven't got many. I think I'm also going to change to sitting. I've been standing for an hour and 20 minutes, and my legs are a bit exhausted. TNT blocks behind the buttons, says Trixie. Yeah, that'll be safe, you know. Big old sign saying press button. Win prize. Desk goes brrr, says Baitan Daniil. Oh, the desk will go brrr. Oh look, my desk makes noises. I brought a special desk, you see. I brought a desk that makes noise, you know. When I rung the desk company up, I was like, can you make a desk that makes noise? And they're like, why would you want that? And I was like, well, this desk goes brrr for the stream. They're like, you're a crazy person, aren't you? I went, take my money. Shut up and take my money. I want a desk that makes noises. Ghostkeeper says, fancy desk, mine doesn't go brr. You need to upgrade it with a noise machine. That's what you need to do. So, the other thing was signs. We've got fence gates and... Ooh, I know where we could possibly put some signs. Again, I'm kind of tempted to use the cha-cha signs for the cha-cha wood, but I got a load of spruce, so maybe we'll just try something different. So what we want to do is just... not sure if I like that or not. That it looks better at the bottom. Let's put it that way. So we'll put a few here and there. How about we have one here? There we go. You know what? I think it looks alright. Let's do the next bit. Yeah, this is definitely a nice detail here. Actually, Junglewood might have been the one to use here, but you know. I'm kind of giving it a more spruce dominant tone now. That is looking real good. So, quite a few of you saying it looks quite nice. That's great. I think it does look very aesthetically pleasing, and we're probably now ready to... I think we're finished once we put the signs on the other side. Buttons too light, says Rob. They might be, but I think they're nice, so we'll keep them. Are we out of spruce? A spruce, I would. I can't get through. Oh, but I can get through there. Couple of vines underneath. Not my strong suit. Adding stuff hanging from the bridge. I think I'm going to be good without it this time round. And most of these things can get put away as well. Wasn't there still some stone underneath this bridge? If there is, it's going to get annihilated. Okay, let's add in these ones. Oh! We kind of never finished building a part of it. That's the problem. Gah! And I just put all those blocks away. Oh, X. You are a Wally. Stop calling me a Wally, chat. Gah. Calling me a Wally. Right. And that goes. X, you can put the shulker box inside of a shulker box inside of a shulker box. No, you can't do that. Okay, here we go. That might be it. Oh no, two more. Two more. It's done. Get rid of everything. We were never here. But yes, the scaffolding has to go. And no, I'm not going to fuss too much over gathering every single block, but you know, you have to gather some of it. Otherwise I'll have none left. Dang it, I missed. Wallace, says Dark Phonix. What? A Wally, not a Wallace. Gosh. I respect your dedication to Minecraft, says Jay Sultano. Thank you, thank you. I've never read a message quite like that before. I like it though. My dedication to Minecraft. I am dedicated, Minecraft. No matter what you do or say, I am dedicated. Yeah, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Right, I think we'll look at it from a few different spots now. And possibly make a thumbnail. Oh, beacon! Looks good. That is my thumbnail. Sweet. Yeah, that's a very nice looking block. Let's go back over block bridge. What? Huh? Huh? We got Saya 2014 here. The 6 months saying, it's so satisfying to watch your scaffolding full. Have a nice stream, everyone. It is, isn't it? It is. Appreciate it. Thank you. We need to match up with the theme over here a little bit again. I think granite and dark oak wood is a nice, easy to throw together kind of construction for some interior walls, maybe. Maybe a little brick. Yeah, brick, granite, even, look at that, oak and dirt. Love the way B-Dubs builds. There's like structure, but, oh, it's made a right old noise in your eardrum, like Dan Rather, God. There's a lot of structure, oh God, there I did it again. A lot of, now I'm trying to do it. Yeah, that structure, but like free-forming little moments of organics everywhere. It feels so real. Dang. Oh, that's new. Oh, spoilers. X, hang your head in shame. Oh, spoiled something. Oh, God. Oh, no. It's never happened on Hermitcraft before. I'm the first to do it. Yeah, we're going to go with granite, brick, and dark oak. And it will be a revolutionary combination. Oh, it was already in this video. Thank goodness. Whew. Dodged a bullet. Advanced Human, thank you for 4 months of support, my dude. Appreciate it. We got Immy 160 here for 19 months. That's incredible, my dude. Thank you so much. TMNWG says, pretty lucky to have B-Dubs as your neighbour this season, huh? I mean, maybe, like, only by distance, but, like, the whole season, I've felt pretty lonely.
You know, it's just when I'm in this area, it's just me. All I can see is the Evil Empire. There's a mountain over there. It's only like recently that some builds have come around the corner, but like most of the time I'm down here and there's just a mountain in the way. Like B-dubs is 100 blocks away, but there's a mountain blocking it all. And that's just reality. That's just fact. You know? And facts, they don't care about my feelings. Oh, God. Oh, why don't they care about my feelings? Right, some things can go away here. Some things can be taken because we need them for building. We're gonna prototype this a bit. I think we're gonna build it with like a sort of phased approach where we'll build the walls up a little bit and then we'll decide what the floor and ceiling looks like later on. I think that sounds cool. Okay, so we got more of these to put away. That's all of the wood, isn't it? Yeah, that we're going to use. Scaffolding. Do we got one for the scaffold? We do, it's over here. Nice, nice, nice. Let's put those away. What do we want on the hotbar? We want some of these, some of them, some of those. Ah, the old wall block, which I will inefficiently make right. Oh no, you do get 6 for it. Never mind, never mind. Never mind. And I also want some of those here. And we need to sleep in the bed. Oh gosh, so many things to be done. So many things. They built a mountain between you and the rest. How mean, says Ghostkeeper. Kind of. So, I've got a feeling we're going to want to avoid the inevitability of the propensity to gravitate towards the symmetry. Not false symmetry, I mean like, you know, symmetrical building. It's such a common occurrence. You want to lay things out nice and neat. How do you get away from that? How do we break the mold of Minecraft? The convention that so many go. Let's set a rule here where structural type blocks are more commonly found at the bottom. Just because I think it will naturally say a little more doing it that way. And I do need these pillars of oak. Oh, why are you not going in the right direction? So then diagonal of that is sort of... 1, 2... How wide is this thing going to be? Doesn't look so wide all of a sudden. And you know what? I think it makes a... Have I got a shovel here? It makes a lot of sense to maybe bring this back by like 2 blocks. Maybe put this right here. And then... for now... So right, anyway, 1, 2, 3, making that one the 4th. Don't know if this is the proper way to do it, but maybe that's where the next bit is. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll just put it in where it feels right. Yep, that's alright. And then a couple more of those. And then the rest can be these. So how does that feel so far? I'm not really getting much of a vibe yet. Not much of a vibe at all from that. Maybe what we need to do is chew out some more space over on this side.
Feels flat almost, says Bear. The whole tunnel is flat, is another issue. This whole space is kind of flat. I really don't know what I'm creating at the moment. Definitely going to need to do something with the floor though. Like, I like the idea of it coming up a bit. Maybe what I should think about doing, and actually, I think the whole of this entrance would benefit from being, like, significantly lower. Ooh. That's interesting. I can still cover that up. But yeah, almost limits what we're able to do here. Oh, do you know what? This will get covered up. And we got a noise in the eardrum. What could it possibly be? It's Ghostkeeper here with a donation. Ghostkeeper, thank you so much for the donation. You're a great inspiration and source of learning how to build. Thank you. I appreciate that, my dude. I'm glad you're learning from me building. I wouldn't consider myself the best or even close to it, but I'm glad you're learning some things. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you again for the donation. Bye-bye, Ray's outside stable, says Baitan Daniil. Bye-bye, Ray's stable indeed. Do you know what? One of my favourite builds on Hermitcraft is the Unstable Stable by Joe Hills. He built a horse stable that was incredibly unstable. If you like broke one block on it, the whole thing would fall apart. It creased me up. So by doing this, we could artificially create a lower entrance here, perhaps, and have this thing then sort of raise itself up, and eventually find itself at this height over here. Roots hanging down inside, says Rob. That's a great suggestion. That's one we should definitely do. You can do the hanging root stuff with wood, I've noticed. It looks good alongside wood a lot of the time. This is too high, I've noticed. And I think actually I like that. Like, initially I was thinking we want this thing, I don't know, to have more to it, but I quite like that. Let's just continue to goof about. One thing I've learned is kind of good is not really knowing what you're building and trying to embrace it a little bit. You place blocks, you try things, you learn. See, now I'm looking at this edge and I'm thinking this might actually be kind of good if we replace all of this right here, right? With those same blocks. Something like that. Maybe we're going a bit too hard on some of the textures. And then you have some sort of different material at this level. So then over on this side, that's all going to start somewhere around here. And I think what we'll do in this space is get some more of those going. Also take use of this. Let's put 1, 2 there. Yep, that's kind of nice. I actually think doing that. Ah, now we've got like a bit of a panel going on here. Starting to look like it's got a little bit more sense to it now. What if we do something like this? Come on, place those blocks. We could have a chain hanging down from up there, I reckon. Have a little light hanging off of it. And then at this level, What do you reckon, peeps? Is that going in the right direction now? We're definitely going to introduce some stairs, walls, like there's definitely more blocks of the granite variety in here. I think what we need to find is, I think we can keep stone at the top, we just need to find what goes out at this level. No, says Aka Keisha. You don't approve? I thought it was going pretty well over here, dang. I mean, yeesh. What material do we need at the bottom? The wood could be easy, but I feel like maybe andesite and cobble. Peeps like it, they approve. Oh, I've got approval over here. I feel validated. Hax11, thank you for the prime, my dude, appreciate it. I ordered some Christmas gifts earlier today and I managed to not buy them off of Amazon. I don't know how that happened, you know. Usually I buy something and I'm on Amazon. But I managed to find somewhere else to buy Christmas presents. You know what? Like, every year I'm always like, no Christmas presents, don't exchange presents. And then someone buys someone something and then it's like, oh, I've got to get everyone presents and we all get sucked into it. I really wish we could be more conservative with things like that. There are certain things we do as a species that wind me up, like fireworks night. Just, that's great, isn't it? Oh, we want to be carbon neutral, protect the environment. Let's blow up gunpowder for our amusement. Oh, humans, you are so clever. Right, there's that. And then, like, the exchanging of gifts. Like, when I browse these websites looking for stuff, I'm like, so much of this is just so tacky. It's like, it's going to get thrown away. I can't stand it. Just swap money, says Tira Jahelm. Well, let's just take the swapping bit out, right? Like, because if you're just going to give each other money, just don't do anything. Anyway, you know how it goes. We all get sucked into it, no matter what. I feel like I should have made way more blocks. Hang on, right? We need like slabs and stuff. So what happened to getting andesite? That went down the pan. There we go. Hancock, why do I do this? I go in and like grab next to nothing, and then I'm like, I don't know what I need. Jeez. Still probably haven't grabbed everything I need here. Joe Dragon says, I love Christmas. I get to spoil my friends after a long year. Always thoughtful and useful gifts are the best. I'm planning on getting everyone blankets this year. Yeah, if you know, there is obviously a different degree of things you can get people. I guess the website I was browsing, I found some good stuff on there, but like a lot of tacky stuff as well. Just a little disconcerting. Right, so down at this level is where we can throw in that other texture as well, I guess. Where the andesite at, homie? There it is. Right, it looks a bit mismatch at the moment. What's that thing I always talk about doing, right? Let's try and connect these ones up. They're a bit more connected. Cobble will be a bit more random. And or individual, and then andesite is everything in between, yeah? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Hey, we got a noise in the ear. It's Kappa62 here for Donation saying, hello X. Don't have too much time for streams, but I always have a chill time when I do. Random question. What are your thoughts on reversing/preventing aging? Do you think it will happen within our lifetime, and should it? Thank you, my dude. I appreciate it. I think it is inevitable that we are going to head towards the use of that technology in medicine. I mean, everyone wants to prolong their life, and here's the thing, we've already been doing it in a way for quite some time. People live longer these days thanks to modern medicine and advances in, you know, like, what am I trying to say?
Society? No. God, the words won't come to me. Standards of living? There you go. Standards of living, healthcare, poverty, all of these things over time, especially over the last 100 years, have been getting better and better on many different measures of human flourishing. Obviously, we've had a bit of a wobble with the pandemic, but with time, hopefully things will recover and continue to get better for everyone. And part of that is being able to be kept alive for longer. You know, medicine advances, we find cures to things, we can keep people alive for longer. Diets may have not gotten better, actually, broadly, but there is definitely more dietary information you can take advantage of today than there was in the past, and opportunities to live healthy lifestyles with all the knowledge that's available now linked to these things. But you know, like, there's also people out there researching and looking into real things related to stopping the body from aging, and I've listened to a whole bunch of podcasts with people that talk about that, but I'm not very good at remembering the specifics. I know that telomeres is a word that comes up a lot when talking about how the body ages and stuff, and some people are finding really cool things out about how to slow down the aging process. It'll get there, I imagine. There was one company that were doing like a next level Fitbit thing that really interested me, because I love my Fitbit. It gives me metrics about my heart rate throughout the day, how far I've moved about, how many calories I've burned. I found it incredibly useful. But there's like a next level Fitbit out there where not only can it tell you that stuff, but it's going to be able to get more biometrics by you wearing this device on your wrist. And it was a bit like, it's a bit not like ready for market yet, but dang, when it is, sign me up. Like, I want to know more about what my body's doing and use that information to my advantage. And there's people out there that say, like, the first people to live for like 150 years have already been born. So the idea there being that, like, they'll receive the technology at some point. It's just a matter of time. Personally, I'm not really counting on you know, having that available. Maybe by the time I'm 80 or whatever, if I get that lucky, you know, the technology might be there to keep me going to 100. But I certainly don't want to die young. I don't think anyone wants to, right? I think if you've got that idea in your head of like live fast, die young, I don't know. The thing is, you always get older and you never want to give up. So you know, we'll all want to live for a long time. It's like an inevitability, I think. It'd be nice, but it doesn't exist, so don't count on it, says Kelafos. I would not say that, really. You're making me push back, because, like, the average person probably doesn't know a lot, right? There are people that this is their line of work, this is what they research, this is what they are looking into. And having listened to podcasts of people doing that, this isn't just science fiction, this is entirely possible. Like, we continuously gather more and more information about what the body's doing and how it works, and we find, like, we learn more and more about what the aging process is, and we find comparative examples of other creatures that have different metabolisms and different, you know, ways of aging. And Akazu says, do you have any podcast recommendations? I don't keep tabs on, you know, the different places. There's a few things I can point you at, like, for some reason Matthew Walker's names always stick in my head, probably because that was like one of the most life-changing podcasts I listened to. The man wrote a book on sleep and how incredibly important sleep was, and I took what he said when I was listening to him talk really seriously, because here's a guy who's done all the legwork, done all the research, and you know what, I took a lot of the advice on board, and since then my sleep has been better, and like, it's helped energy wise. I feel really good day to day. You know, I'm always full of energy. I like, you know, by the time I go to bed, I could probably run, you know, for an hour if I needed to. That's not just down to sleep though, that's down to many things, but like, I've taken on board as much of this health and fitness advice as I can, and it's really worked for me.
For me, I really don't get tired at any point. I'm always just got the energy if I need it. Maybe if I have like a big meal or lots of carbs, I might feel a bit after. But, you know, most of the day I can go. And, like, I believe what I've achieved is in reach for most people. Some people have genuine reasons not to, but a lot of people, you know, fall into the same traps. If you feel tired, one of the best things you can do is exercise. It will perk you up. Now, maybe not if you're out of shape, but like, sometimes when I feel tired, I just go, in the past, like, again, rarely feel tired, but like, go on the treadmill and I just get perked up by it. Kelsa Doom says, I never feel tired. X, what is in your curry? You need to share that with me. Yeah, and it's like, you know, like I don't rely on coffee. I have an occasional bit of caffeine. I don't ever touch energy drinks. All I drink is water. Eat healthy, smart. Minimize those, you know, meals you know ain't great for you. Keep on exercising. Keep your body in check. You know, your body responds to what you do. Anyway, I can't point you any specific podcasts, but there are great ones out there if you go fishing around for them. Unfortunately, I can't really remember any names associated with it, but definitely heard some really interesting people talk about it. Cutie Pie Kidden, 62 months, saying for Christmas gifts in my family, we mostly buy our own gifts and then a family member wraps it, and that is what we open Christmas Day. I mean, that's a really good way to do it because you will get yourself things you need and know you want. It does take a little bit of the fun out of it. That's the way I would personally do it myself if I could, you know, like, that would work for me. Totally work for me. But, you know, I found some gifts and I found some that I'm pretty sure are going to get used and will be welcome, so I'm kind of excited to see other people, you know, go for them or not, I guess. But I kind of feel like doing something a little interesting here. Can hang that there. Feels like it gets a bit much. Like without it, yeah. We'll have to find another spot to hang the next bit from. Oh, I can't. Okay, I can't jump up on that. That makes sense. It's not a jumpy up on type of thing, is it? We got more noises in here. We got Chameleon897 here with the Prime and username next question here with the Prime. Thank you so much for your support, peeps. Appreciate it. Sounds awfully utilitarian, almost robotic, says Ralph Sallow. What in particular is utilitarian and robotic? Oh, the gift exchanging, probably, I'm guessing. Oliver Poggers says, this is the second Xisuma stream I'm catching, and I never knew, like, how serious the chat is. Oh my god, let's talk about life and death. Oh, let's get real serious, peeps. Actually, I heard something recently that I fully embraced and now love, okay? This is going to be a poll. I'm going to ask you the question, then we're going to go through it. Right, new poll. Here we go. Okay, I'm just writing it up, and this is for you to answer. If you were listening, right, okay, no, oh, I'm cooking, oh, I'm cleaning, oh, I'm saving a child who's drowning, and you're on in the background? I was trying to think of something genuinely serious, what someone might also be listening, you know? That sounded kind of dark. Okay, come over here and vote, because this one's interesting. Okay, so let me explain. I have been bestowed with the powers of knowledge that I can share with all of you. I will magically reveal to you the date that you die. Rick Stiggs says, sorry, child. Sorry. Xisuma poll. The question is, would you want to know when you die? Ah! Gosh, I don't want to die! Not now! No, skeleton! I was asking chat! Not you! Oh, God! I don't want to die! Oh, you're dead. Oh, well, I could have told you you were about to die, actually, I guess. See, I am bestowed with the powers. So, oh, wait, no, the poll has started. The poll is above chat, apparently. The poll started. It's going to run for 2 minutes. And while it's running... Actually, no, I'm not going to tell you my answer until it's finished. Y'all can probably guess what my answer is. What do I want to do with that little block? I tell you what, I kind of liked embracing having a little... like that, you know? Normally you don't see that. But, like, why not? Just feels... makes the structure feel... more improvised, I think. Which I kind of like. The answer could go yes or no. He's got a 50-50 chance. I don't know. Like, I reckon it's going to come out very obscured. I reckon people do not want to know when they're going to die. Right, I think what we'll do next... I'm not sure, actually. I kind of want it to, like, lower a little bit somewhere around here. Try and mix acacia fences into the palette and hang lanterns from them. I don't think I do actually want to do that. They're a bit vivid. We probably need like less vivid colours in here, if anything. Also, I haven't experimented with putting this stuff up in the roof. I think it might look good for like an odd spot. But I don't know how well that's going to transition. Okay, right. Results are in. And 72% of you don't want to know when you would die. But 28% of you would do. I would. I would want to know when I would die if I were given the option to know, right? Tilm says ignorance is bliss and all that. Yeah. Is it always bliss? Not in every circumstance, okay? Walking on train tracks, don't know about trains, ignorance is bliss? Not then. You know? Sometimes it's bliss, sometimes it's not. Don't know what that thing's steaming towards you making that giant noise is. Yeah. I don't know what it is, I better just stand here where it appears to be heading towards me. You know what I'm saying, you can make your own example. Right, like not every situation is a good one to be ignorant, is what I'm saying. You know? That's what I'm saying. So I would want to know, I was listening to this podcast about it, and now I'm actually completely convinced it is, like, great to know. Because I think everyone has a sense of, like, of not knowing what you're doing with your life. I think that just has to be, like, baked into the human experience in the current context, okay? Maybe 10,000 years ago out there in the jungle and all that, as they say. You know, caveman and whatnot, things are a bit different. But in this day and age, you know, the lives we lead are sort of detached from survival and leaves us with lots of time to think and ponder on the meaning of life and all that kind of stuff. Riggs Diggs says, not all knowledge makes you happier, of course. I don't think it's a matter of being happy. So, like, we all have these, like, what am I doing with my life type thoughts. No one could be fully certain. And it's a common thing to experience doubt and wonder if you could be doing something better. And I always think, like, how drastic would it, like, change my life if, like, I got a diagnosis of, oh, you're terminally ill or something. Like, I would no longer do the same thing anymore. Like, everything I do would completely change from that point onwards. And I would want it to change. Why would I keep doing the same thing, right? Now, why would I be doing this anyway? Because the fact that you're going to die isn't an inevitability. And so it feels like you put up with this just inertia of the normal and the going through the routines and the motions, and you accept that. And in the back of our mind, most of us know there's probably something more extraordinary we could be doing with our time.
So if you were told that you were going to die in a week, right? That'd be the worst thing, right? You think, okay, I'm going to be told when I die. Oh, when you're 90 and you die in your sleep. You think, fine. When you get told you're going to die in a week, okay? Now, you would live that week one of two ways. Not knowing, it would be just a normal week doing the same old thing and then it's all over. But if it wasn't, that week would be full of you taking care of things, doing stuff, you know, like doing all those things you want to do before you die, the stuff that you put off. Now, they both end the same way. So like you would surely want to do all of the things that you would do if you knew you were going to die. If you had gone to the doctor and they said you got a week to live, you would want to do those things. I think like it's almost like a superpower, you know? If you knew, right, if it were a week, a month, a year, 10 years, all those things would have a different degree of change on your behavior. But they would take you out of the inertia. They would make you think so differently about what you're doing with your time. I mean, a lot of us have got like bills and responsibilities that end with death, and like all of a sudden you would be free of some of those things. Your time would be so different. The meaning of your time would be so different. You know, do you think I would stream again if I found out I was going to die in a week? Okay, I'll let you in on a little secret. I would not. I would not. I would not stream again. Sorry, don't mean to insult you, but like, if I were going to die in a week, I'm pretty sure making a YouTube video would be the lowest priority I ever had, right? Now, if I'm going to die in a week, I'd want to know that. Because I wouldn't want to spend that last week making YouTube videos. That's the inertia of it, you know? Obviously we got, you know, I'm not putting making YouTube videos down, but like, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. But the rest of my life might be over in a week. So like, it's a superpower to know. It's a good thing to know. It changes you. It gets you out of the inertia. It makes you do the things you convince yourself you won't do because you got all this time in front of you, but you might not. There's this self-development technique called 1 more year of life, where the person pretends it's just 1 more year and they'll do what they want to do. Yeah, I get that, Curls, I get that. But you could vlog it. What, my death? It makes you live in a way, says Bear. Yeah, that's it. The knowledge will make you live in a different way. Surely, logically speaking, knowing when you're dying should be advantageous, but psychologically it could be really stress-inducing, at least to some. I think it's a case-by-case basis. Again, even if it's stress-inducing, I think you could weigh that up against like ignorance is bliss and like, is that really how you want to live your last life? I think it might be easier for me because I'm kind of at peace with like, alright, if it turns out you go, you go. I'm more fearful of other people dying than of dying myself. I don't know why, I just sort of am. I think also, sometimes I think it might be one of those things you can tell yourself this, but maybe if you're really faced with death, it would be different. I don't know, I feel like I've sort of been, air quotes, lucky, or like have avoided a lot of death in my life. I've never been hit too hard by too many things. And, you know, some of the deaths that have been in the family and whatnot are sort of, you know, old age and expected. Not all of them. So actually, you know, there have been some shocks and whatnot, but like for the most part, I feel like it's been kind of light. And maybe if it wasn't, that might change how I feel. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of at peace with it for some reason. I get that it will be over one day, and that's all right. Oliver Pickle Jar. There's a name for a deep conversation, saying, "Hey Suma, could you do a hair reveal because you're not doing face reveal?" Oliver, I'll do a hair reveal video. I hear those are really popular. No, I'm not going to do a hair reveal. Y'all don't want to see that. Gah. Dilo6 says, gosh, I did not expect to be hit with such deep thought today. Someone hasn't been round my streams enough. We're always getting out those boxing gloves, sucker punching you with the deep ones. That's what we do here. Yeah, I think it's a superpower. I really do think, like, God, I kind of like, you know how if you've been, this is for those of you that have seen a lot of my streams, let's say over the last 6 months or whatever. I keep bringing this idea up of like feeling like I need to do something, right? Like, I sometimes think about something like game design. That fascinates me, that interests me. But I think what I'd want to find my way into is like maybe designing and engineering solutions like I've done in a computer game, but with like real world effects. I think that's maybe what I'm after. That's what I'm actually thinking. I'm like, I want to like get in a challenging space where you figure things out, and for me that's like creativity and puzzle games, and that might not translate to what I'm talking about now, but like making a real world difference with that. I think that's like what I keep getting at when I talk about these things, and I think that's why I like the idea so much now, because I feel like it would jolt me. If it was like, you've got a year to live, I would be like, I've got to find what that thing is and do it then, you know? Whereas I keep having time to put it off, because I keep getting this just feeling like, of like wanting to create something bigger, and the idea of like developing a computer game is like really appealing, but I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that computer games bring you a sense of like puzzle solving, and I want to do that in a bigger context or something. I don't know, and I don't know how to go about doing that. Like there's this kid. Now I'm gonna butcher his name because I always butcher his name. Is it Slaven Boyat or something? God, I'm butchering that. I mean, actually, everyone knows about this kid now. I've talked about him before in the past. Like Save the Seas, right? The guy who's doing the ocean cleanup project and has been doing it since he was a teenager just was like, right, I'm going to try and solve this really difficult problem. We've got a big patch of garbage and I'm going to go out there in the real world and figure out how to do it. And like, boy and slats, there you go. Curls of Doom, you got it. And like, that is some real world puzzle solving. That is playing the computer game of life and figuring out how to solve the ocean level. You know, I feel like maybe I want to do something like that, but I've got like no idea where to start, or like what on earth the thing I might want to do is. Yeah, I guess that's it. I want to do something that has like is more attached to like real world, and yeah, that's about all I can say, I guess. Yeah, you should promote team scenes on your YouTube, says Killjoy Killer. I don't feel like that's it though. I don't feel it's just like, oh, I'll promote charities or whatever. That I've always felt a bit funny about charities. It's more like doing it myself, whatever it is. I don't know. I've been meaning to look into that Team C's, but God, things just keep getting away from me. Not that one there. Actually, I kind of like the dirt here. I think I might just keep that. Have a bit of sporadic dirt going on. Its shape is not entirely flat for some reason. Why is the one over there flat? Or is it not either? No, it's not. Okay. This one just looks more obviously not flat. X, prioritise what is really important to you. Which problem is bugging you the most and where you feel you have the most strengths and competence and what you can bring to society. Well, Curls of Doom, it's interesting you say that, because one of the things I often feel like I really like doing is having the little talky bits about ignorance and whatnot, and I've like tried with Xisuma Says to go into that territory a bit. Maybe I haven't tried properly or hard enough. Also, like, you know, when you put out your more political or politicizable thoughts and feelings and stuff, like, there's a lot of vitriol that comes back with that, and I'm particularly susceptible to negative comments on a bad day, and that's also kind of put me off of the whole Xisuma Says to me, yeah, no, I need to go deeper into what you're saying. You're totally right. I need to really think it through.
Rob Rob says interview people. Nah, I don't think that's it. It's a very anxious territory to enter, says Stupid Dumb Thick. It sure is. You need some real thick skin for it, which I think I do have, but like on certain days it can, you know, catch me out, if you like. Maybe teaching adults in college uni. No, I would not make a good teacher. Maxwell says going to public speaking. Believe it or not, I would be terrified of public speaking. I imagine this would help. But, wait, you're trying to trick me into revealing my face? Is that what's going on here? Now, I appreciate any ideas. I just feel like all I've got is dismissive answers at the moment. If I hear the right idea, maybe I'll roll with it. But I feel like we lost the stone ceiling bit too much. I think maybe this bit here needs to be stone again, so I'm gonna change it over. And we do have slabs actually to help us here a bit. Yeah, no, I appreciate all the ideas. I'll just keep listening to them. Is this not a form of public speaking, says Dasmead. It doesn't feel like it, like, because I'm used to it. Like, that's the thing though, used to it, right? Like, you'll get used to public speaking if you do it. I mean, I'm just in a room by myself, basically, talking. That's all that's happening here. Right, I think I'm just going to put one of those there. And then maybe here, yeah, get rid of that. In fact, I think I'm just... maybe go like that. And then we'll probably need a bit more of this around this area. Oh yeah, we totally got to put some like hanging roots and stuff in this area. That's kind of all right looking. It's not really finished, but yeah, anyway, we touched into some deep stuff there, I guess. Carls of Doom, I like what you're saying in chat. I mean, maybe Curls, maybe like what I could do is like try and make this Xisuma Says video that I've tried to make many times before. I can like picture them in my head, but I just never have the time to fully flesh them out and edit them. Because I've got streams to do, I've got videos to make. Yeah, so much to think about. And it's more about doing sometimes than thinking. Thank you, Rigsticks. That's a very nice comment of you to put out there. And honestly, like having these chats on stream is really like quite fulfilling. Soundwave Hope, thank you for 20 months of support. We got Sir Feisterer here with a subscription as well. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, we never really finished doing the chains and the lanterns in there, did we? I really like this. It's so like inconspicuous. I don't know if that's the right wording to use there, but I like it a lot. There's a nice spot for one, and then I feel like over here we're lacking a bit. Have one come down to that level there. That's really quite nice actually. I did say like doing a pass on all of this is important. And I'm not sure like how much change and where to introduce it. Feels pretty good. It feels like it needs like one or two more different blocks somewhere. Didn't I say hanging roots a minute ago as well? Empty space behind the walls to make them flat. Oh, thank you, thank you. There you go. That's better, isn't it? That is better. Look away for an hour and it looks amazing, says Hitread. Yeah, when you have that break and you come back to it, you're like, whoa. It's certainly good. It can look a little better is kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe some glowberries as well.
There's the hanging roots. Might need some torches in those empty spaces. Oh! Well look, things can spawn in here. So we definitely need more. I was thinking maybe having them on these bits kind of says a little something when they only exclusively appear on that material instead of the stone, and kind of maybe want to put some string under that. Oh, I don't want to run out of them. I got some more I can go farm somewhere. Actually, I kind of need to farm more now, I think. I wish you could have 2 block hanging roots, says Rob. That would be cool. Carl says, X, think outside of the box. You could start a new channel with a new username. You're not tied to Xisuma. Or there is Minecraft education teachers. Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate your encouragement. It's going to take like a little bit for me to break my usual pattern of thought and then find some new ideas. But, you know, not making excuses of myself, but sort of am. Like, it's time. That time is what really hurt the Xisuma Says channel and where I wanted to go with that. I got exhausted of like a lot of factors, I guess, with that project. But one of them is like the time to make stuff. Like if I want to like really make the videos I wanted to make on that channel, it was just I wouldn't have the time for it. That's the thing I've got to get through, I guess, is it's not just, you know, I got to sacrifice something else to get there. I don't know what I'll sacrifice, but that seems to be it. Got to sacrifice something else. If I didn't make Hermitcraft videos, I could do absolutely anything I wanted. Like, it is the biggest time sink, and I really don't want to give it up, but like, it would be such a game changer if I did in terms of doing other stuff creatively. And like, I know y'all don't want me to do that. I know you'll hate it. You'll be like, no, X, not the Hermitcraft. But like, if I gave up Hermitcraft, honestly, it would free me to do so much. It's such a huge time sink. It's hours every day. Don't get me wrong, I love doing it, but like, if I got these other ambitions, that might be it. Okay, let's do that. That one's blocked. Kind of nice. I do wonder if we might have gone a bit overboard with this greenery here, but it does certainly work. I really like how we didn't like get sucked into giving it a particular shape, you know, symmetry and stuff like that. It really works without that. And I think here's an idea, like maybe, yeah, maybe a couple of those bits, because you can see it in the shape. Also maybe downwards as well. That is a good idea. Yeah, that definitely just leveled it up a tiny bit. Very cool. Do you, X? Chase your dreams and don't let anything hold you back. Thank you. Mr. Crimson King says, there is something at the bottom of every new human thought. Every thought of genius, or even the earnest thought that springs up in any brain, which can never be communicated to others, even if one were to write volumes about it, and were explaining one's ideas for 35 years. There's something left which cannot be included to emerge from your brain and remains with you forever, and with it till you die, without communicating to anyone, perhaps the most important of your ideas, says Fyodor D. That's a very interesting quote. I think it's because ideas are not mathematical but are often emotional, and emotions are very personal and sometimes indescribable. Okay, let's try and tidy this up a little bit. Like, I've created a right old mess over here, haven't I? That and that can go in here. Were the shears in there? I don't know. I think they might have been in a different one. Oh, actually, the bed goes in there, doesn't it? There was in a different one. God. Which one was it in then? This one? Probably that one. Right, hanging roots is greenery.
Got some wood. Rest of the stuff goes back in the base. Ah, lanterns. This is how you do it, peeps. You're watching the organised inventory in action right now. Your hunger bar is low, says Lil Maddie Twitch. Well, I better eat then. Better chomp down on some golden carrots. Benjamin, 1997, Besma, thank you ever so much for the subscription, my dude. Appreciate it. Last Life is a huge time sink. An active hermit like Xisuma would probs not have time, says Jimmy. I think you got that the wrong way around. Last Life is, isn't Last Life very, like, play and go? Pretty sure. Well, I don't know because I haven't watched it. I watched some of the first season and it seemed very play and go, casual, social oriented. Hermitcraft is just like, you know, mega builds and crazy projects and all the stuff that you grind out in a survival world. Last Life is 3 hours once a week. There you go. So a week's worth of episodes is done in 3 hours, whereas Hermitcraft is like, I mean, you got to put in way more than 3 hours a day on here. I've ordered these a little incorrectly now. Yeah, maybe what we can do in this one is change up the theme slightly, but like something similar to this. This turned out absolutely great, by the way. I really do like it. Quest says 3 hours in editing, probably a few extra hours of work. I don't know. Everyone's different. For me, editing is very, it has its time sink, but like, the way I make videos, editing is not too much of a bother. It's added time, but like, it's nothing too complicated. It depends on how you edit though. Like, if I were to record in Last Life, one of the tools I take advantage of is, like, I've got a bookmark maker plugin, so you can bookmark events. So like, whenever something happens of interest, you just press a button and then you've got like a timestamp of where it was. And whenever I've had to do like events in the past with that kind of a need for that in mind, oh, it's been so helpful. You just, you know, pull up that list of notable points in time, and then all of a sudden you're not watching any of your editing back, you're just jumping straight to the bits you wanted to include. Rigsdig says the editing is always the time consuming part. Again, it depends on like the style, it really does. Like, editing for me is more of like a flow. Like, it's based on the way I record. Editing is like stitching together clips and that's it. It's not like having to, I don't know, like artistically piece together pieces of puzzle or anything. They're sort of already laid out in order. I'm just clipping them together. Do you have your thumbnail yet, says Baitan Daniel? I got that a while ago. The one thing out of these builds I'd really like to utilise is those pipes. They look so cool. But I don't think we're going to have the option to do that. Because the next bit is just down here. Here it is. And past it. Just this little bit. And the ceiling there is kind of deliberately low. We'll see what we do. Mystico says EFO, for example, spends a few hours in editing for each episode. I think EFO, Iskal, who else gives me the impression they do this? I'm just trying to think. For some reason, only those two come to mind right now. But like, I think some people, when they come on, they hit record and then play for ages and then end the recording and then edit it all into an episode. That's totally not how I work though, right? Like, my thing is, I got a list of all the things I've done, I'm doing, loads of stuff is done off camera, and then I talk about it, and usually everything you see in a video is sequential of me. Like, if I've just cut a clip and there's another one, it's probably because I just went off, did some stuff, and then hit record again. So like, you know, let's say I'm making this building, right? It's not there. I talk about it, I start building it, I talk about it again, and then You know, I finish building it and I comment on it, and like, it's just me hitting record 3 times, and all I got to do is go put that together with that bit, and it's done. Rendog says manual CL. Alright, Ren edits that way as well then. Yeah. So like, if I just came on and spent the whole time building this thing and saying stuff, then yeah, the editing might take me like a lot longer, but I don't do it that way. I have on occasion done things similar to that, but for me, it's kind of like recording a snapshot video as well. It's just talk about the thing and then stop recording. Talk about the next thing, stop recording. And then all you do is just drag a bunch of clips and line them up and it's done. Manual CL says, it's interesting, everyone has a different kind of style. Yeah, for me, like, I try to just reduce friction. Plus, like, I do other stuff while I play, like I listen to music and I watch videos and I get off of the computer a lot. Like, I'm sat here for 2.5 hours streaming, but like most of the time I'm off the computer every 30 minutes because I don't like sitting down for too long. You know, I get up, walk around, come back again, and it just suits me to not be continuously recording. I'm doing other stuff most of the time as well. Your video style is not friendly to recappers, says Captain Taco Face. I don't know why that is so, but maybe you've seen something there I haven't. You should make a How I Make a Hermitcraft episode video. I've always wanted to, but the problem with that is, like, it feels like the two contradict each other. Like, I would need to, like, I don't know how I present that, because, like, I turn off recording while I'm doing an episode, right? Like, I record a little bit, and then the music comes on, and I'm doing other stuff. And then, oh, we're done, we're ready, okay. Stop all that, hit record. Oh, I've just done this, la 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 la. We're going to do that next. Bam, back to it, you know? You'll probably notice it more if you, when you watch, like, the next episode and you think, oh, there's a cut and loads of stuff has happened. Ah, he's been doing this for ages, like listening to a record. You did it 2 years ago, April 1st, 2019, says Winnie. See, I read the message first, and as I looked over at the name, I had a feeling it would be someone who was involved. That's an amazing episode, that one. Yeah, there's some Minecraft or Hermitcraft homework for you. April 1st, 2019. Go check that episode out. Vicious says, have you seen what's going on with Jevin? I hope YouTube gets sorted out. Yeah, I've been keeping a close eye on that. I've been really annoyed with YouTube. Like, this is just a typical thing that happens with them. Anyway, peeps, I think we're going to wrap the live stream up right there. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed, resubscribed, donated, and cheered. Thank you to all of my patrons. Thank you to all the peeps gifting subs. Y'all are appreciated. I'm just looking for someone to raid right now. I've said all the things. So be sure to hit the follow button and then hit the raid button. I'm going to send you over to Cleo, who is playing on Hermitcraft, so your Hermitcraft action continues. Thank you, peeps. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.